Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a really hard look at a silent crisis that's happening right now inside modern tech-driven businesses. Seriously, I want you to picture that empty desk in your IT department, or, that vacant little square on your Zoom screen where your next lead developer is supposed to be. It's so incredibly easy to just brush that off as another HR hurdle, right? Just a standard delay in the pipeline. But think about this. The average tech role sits open for over 40 days. We need to completely reframe how we see this immediately. An unfilled technical role isn't just an HR problem. It's a massive, compounding business leak. Every single day that critical position sits empty, it is literally draining your company's potential.
Okay, let's dive into this. The real price you pay for that empty chair, it isn't measured in recruiter fees or the paused salary budget. No, it's measured in pure opportunity cost. When you're sitting around waiting for a critical technical expert to arrive, you aren't just saving money on payroll. You're actively paying a steep price in lost momentum, stalled development, and compromised market positioning. The clock is ticking, and the business, your business, is the one actually footing the bill for the delay.
Let's look at exactly how this delay cascades through your entire organization. It's basically a domino effect. First, a crucial project just hits a brick wall because you're missing a specific technical skill. That's domino number one, project delays. Then, to make up for it, your existing team members are forced to take on all these additional responsibilities, which directly leads to an increased workload and eventually total burnout. Because your team is stuck in the weeds putting out daily fires, slower innovation sets in. Your brilliant new ideas take way longer to go from concept to implementation, and obviously, this causes missed opportunities out in the market. Meanwhile, your management team, they're burning cycles on higher recruitment effort, just endlessly searching and interviewing instead of actually leading. Ultimately, this whole chain reaction leads to one devastating result: delayed business growth, because time spent waiting directly equals lost revenue and a totally exhausted team.
So I want you to genuinely ask yourself right now, how much is your business actually losing while you're waiting? If you could put a dollar amount on those delayed product launches, the frustrated clients, and your burned out developers, what would that number be? Every single week you spend waiting for the right talent is like watching capital just slowly drain right out of your active projects. It's a fundamental bottleneck, and it completely chokes your ability to execute.
Which brings us to section 1, the traditional hiring trap.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing the sheer agony of the old method laid out like this. First, a business need is identified. Okay, then you search, then you screen, then you do rounds of interviews, then you assess, then you verify credentials. And finally, eventually, you hire. Look, it's exhausting just to say it all out loud. By the time this grueling marathon is over, incredibly valuable time has already been lost. Every single one of these incremental steps acts as a massive speed bump, pushing actual project execution further and further away from the exact moment you realized you needed help. You don't just need to fill a position, you need to start executing. But this cycle, it guarantees you stay stuck in the waiting room.
But here's where we have to be absolutely careful. When you see that long, drawn-out process, the natural instinct is to just rush it. Just hire someone, right? Get a warm body in the seat. Well, actually, scratch that, because speed alone is not enough. In fact, rushing the hiring process creates a new, even more dangerous trap: hiring the wrong technical expert. If you prioritize speed over relevant capability, you aren't actually solving the problem. You're just setting a totally different part of your business on fire.
So the absolutely crucial point here is that doing it wrong actually costs way more than doing it slow. A poor technical fit brings an avalanche of new problems. First, you face repeated recruitment efforts because, well, you have to start the whole thing over again. You pour money into additional training to get them up to speed, only to face massive project disruption anyway. You suffer productivity loss, severe team frustration from your existing members who constantly have to clean up the mess, and ultimately much higher replacement costs. The emotional and financial drain of a bad hire just compounds every single day.
We really need a paradigm shift here. We need to find the absolute sweet spot. And that sweet spot is defined exactly like this: speed plus relevant capability. It's the ability to reach the execution phase significantly sooner without compromising even an inch on the technical relevance of the person you're bringing in. This is the ultimate solution. It's not just about filling a seat fast, it's about filling it with exact, proven capability so the real work can actually begin.
So, let's talk about how we get there in section 2, the ExpertOnHire solution.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we break that agonizing waiting cycle. Just look at the contrast. On one side, you have the traditional hiring marathon. Search, screen, interview, assess, verify, hire, onboard. It goes on forever. On the other side, you have a highly streamlined method: match, validate, hire, start delivering. Just 4 steps. The focus completely shifts from managing this convoluted recruitment process to instantly connecting the actual business requirement with relevant talent. It's the essential shift from waiting to working. So how does it actually achieve this kind of speed? Well, it cuts straight through the recruitment noise. AI-assisted matching instantly identifies alignment. But it definitely doesn't stop at algorithms. It relies on strict, practical validation of technical experts, meaning you aren't just guessing if they can do the job based on some polished resume or a rehearsed interview answer. You're getting verified technical experts going through portfolio-based evaluation and doing practical skill validation right up front. You see the evidence of their capability before day one, which leads to total hiring confidence and dramatically faster team formation.
Moving on to Section 3, Scaling Startups and Enterprises. Now, the cost of waiting looks slightly different depending on your scale, but make no mistake, it is equally lethal. For startups and SMEs, a delayed hire can instantly derail critical fundraising milestones and just completely freeze your market expansion. Startups simply cannot survive standing still. For enterprises, the challenge is managing multiple competing projects. A hiring delay here severely stalls major digital transformation initiatives and heavily impacts team capacity across the board. But despite those differences, both groups share the exact same mandate. They absolutely must move from hiring delays to real business momentum.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because ultimately it all comes down to this simple truth. A technical expert doesn't magically create value just by signing an employment contract. They only create value by actually doing the work. This right here is the execution journey. Talent is found, their capability is rigorously validated, the expert is hired, and immediately the project starts and business value is created. The faster an organization can confidently move through this specific journey, the sooner it turns technical capability into real, tangible business outcomes. Less waiting, more doing.
So I'm turning this back to you. Your projects are waiting. Your customers are waiting. Your biggest growth opportunities are quite literally sitting there, just waiting for the right technical capability to unlock them. So what are you waiting for? Why accept these massive recruitment bottlenecks as just the cost of doing business? The real cost isn't the recruiter's fee. It's the vast, immeasurable opportunity cost of standing still.
It is time to completely transform your hiring pipeline. Turn the time you currently spend waiting for talent into time spent building, delivering, and growing. Because quality at scale absolutely is possible when you find the talent and validate the capability efficiently. Stop waiting. Start building. I'll leave you with this final thought. If your top competitor secures the exact technical expert you need tomorrow, what happens to your timeline? Think about it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.